coming back at you guys with another part in my series of Middle-earth: Shadow of War. We're back at it now. It's my part 30 of this game, and it is amazing. I thought I finished the game, the last part, but as it turns out that there was a whole epilogue to the story. And so clearly, I still got a lot to do. And as it seems, if you guys also were confused about what the story was, allow me to explain. Alright, so how this happened is that obviously we got to the tower, we defeated Sauron. Well, in a sense, we didn't really defeat Sauron. Now, if you're questioning as to what Shelob's vision was about, that Talion said that he could not change fate, well, as it turns out, Shelob was right. He did change fate. He changed the fate of his life. See, he was supposed to die, and Celebrimbor would become is of course the Bright Lord, and he would rule all over Mordor. So basically, trading a Dark Lord for a Bright Lord, Sauron for Celebrimbor, and it would basically mean that he does become a tyrannous leader, as everyone else would become. Now, that would be confusing because this game is set in between the last Hobbit movie and just before the beginning of Lord of the Rings. Now, that would not make sense at all that the fact that would happen, because there was no king at the time of Lord of the Rings. And the One Ring is still held by Bilbo Baggins, the Hobbit in the Lord of the Rings, which is Sauron's ring. Now, well, that does seem confusing. Now, see, here's the thing. This is the true story right here. The original timeline, the original future that Shelob was trying to fight against was this, that the Bright Lord would become the ruler of all of Mordor and have Mordor in constant warfare, basically. That's what it was destined to be, originally. Now, because Talion screwed with the timeline and saw that Celebrimbor was just gonna replace Sauron as basically the Bright Lord, as also a Dark Lord, technically, with the ring. You know, the ring corrupts no matter what. Even if that ring... See, the ring that he has, that dominates all of the ghouls and the... the Nazgul and the orcs, it may seem pure, but it's just like the other rings. It is evil and corruptible. And that is what Talion uses, if you remember from the last part. Talion, he still managed to survive. And he put on the ring, and he became, well, a corrupt human. And, in a sense, basically a necromancer, you know? Now, so going back to the original story, it was supposed to be that the Bright Lord would become the ruler of Mordor. But, as it turns out, because Talion survived and put on the ring, he was able to change fate. And from there, what happened was that Sauron and Celebrimbor, they became one. And they would be in constant warfare with the Eye. They would be constantly in the Eye, fighting each other to no end, for all eternity. Now, that was not supposed to happen at all. And Celebrimbor definitely did not plan for that. So that's what happened. Talion basically changed fate, and now Talion has to fight in these wars called the Shadow Wars, and that's what the epilogue is about. That's where we will find our true ending once I finish it all through. In these Shadow Wars, as it would turn out, Talion is still gonna have to fight Sauron or Celebrimbor. Basically both of them, because, you know, they're one. So that's how it is. And, of course, they both have the rings. Now, in this case, I have to assume both rings are going to get destroyed. So, Talion is probably going to die. Spoilers ahead. It's most likely going to happen. That's my prediction as to what the story is going to go forth in. And, you know, that's how it looks. So, for that, as it would seem, you know, that's what it... Yeah. Because of my hindsight bias, this is what it looks like. You know, they're going to be in constant warfare, and the only way to stop Celebrimbor and Sauron is for Talion to die. That is what will happen, but all of them are going to be destroyed. All of them. So therefore, there will be no ruler of Mordor. So that's how it's going to be. So Talion took the darkness. He hasn't fully become a slave to it. He took it to be able to now be on his quest to free all mankind of basically both Celebrimbor and Sauron's corruption. Both of their influence. As you remember from the last time, and probably the part before that, we had two Nazgul that had memories of Sauron and Celebrimbor craft rings. They crafted rings to help give them life and give them what they wanted. Now, Celebrimbor, I'm sure he had good intentions, but as it would seem, obviously Sauron didn't. He wanted to corrupt and enslave the two men that he became, that eventually became the Nazgul, and under the slaves of the Witch King. Now that might seem weird, but that's how it is, you know. And well, Sauron deceived everyone, as Celebrimbor mentioned. Although I don't know, I feel like you should have seen that coming, but that's just how it seems. And so yeah, that's why the rings were crafted. 2 rings were crafted after Sauron lost the first ring. Or no, 2 rings were crafted. Yeah. After he lost the first one. And he still had another one. And that's the one he used to fight me, Electro, and Celebrimbor, which you saw in the last part. And so, yeah, we took care of those 2 Nazgul who had memories of what Celebrimbor and Sauron were. They were both basically evil. So in a sense, even though Celebrimbor had good intentions and is the Bright Lord and is supposed to be all good and all that, he still was somewhat evil in himself. So basically, Talion saw that, and so he was able to change fate. And now he is not yet a servant of darkness. He uses the darkness to try to free all of Mordor of both Sauron and Celebrimbor's corruption. That is the main part of this story. That is what we're going to be doing. That is how we're going to be going through the Shadow Wars to be able to free Mordor from everything, from endless war. Because if it wasn't for Talion, there would be endless war, constant war. Mordor would be cursed to have blood and death everywhere. Had Celebrimbor become the Bright Lord, the ruler of Mordor, and yeah, we would not be in a good place. That I can tell you. So, yeah. This video right now is just about me explaining the story, so I hope you guys are catching on. And I gotta say though, it's an interesting story. Had it, you know, in between both The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, in a span of 60 years. That's basically how that is. And I gotta say, Talion is a very dynamic character. You know, these changes, he understands that there's corruption on both sides. And he's willing to even use darkness, the dark power, just to free from that corruption. So in a sense, what Electriel, I mentioned him before in the last part, was talking about how there would constantly be evil, no matter how many times you fight. And that's true. Unfortunately, that is true. It's even true in our world. You know, in a sense, Middle-earth is just basically a reflection of our world, only more chaotic. But that's basically how that is. There is evil on both sides, no matter what. No one is pure good, pure evil. I mean, maybe Sauron's pure evil, but other than that, that's basically how that is. There's good and evil on both sides, and as it looks, Talion seeks to eradicate it. At least try to. And I'm sure he's gonna die doing that. And, you know, Shelob saved him to finish that, to finish his mission. And his fate is not sealed by Celebrimbor. So, as it would seem, probably in this Shadow of War, we're gonna be dealing with we're gonna be dealing with orcs, trying to stop them from taking over all the other fortresses. We're gonna be basically trying to bring back Mordor, defend Mordor until Sauron and Celebrimbor come in and fight us. And you know, that's how it is. So yeah, this is basically what it is in this story. It's pretty much reflecting on what the Lord of the Rings storyline was about. The rings corrupt. They were used to bring order. But as it looks, that power is more than just bringing order. It's corrupting people. It's making them evil. It's making evil on both good and evil sides. Evil, greater evil. That's how it looks. So, Talion, the good thing, broke away. Although he didn't... He kind of had no choice. He would have died if he'd not put on the ring. So right now, this is what it looks like in the Shadow Wars. This is how we're going to be fighting them. We're going to fight, we're going to take care of Mordor, and then in the end, we're going to have to fight Celebrimbor and Sauron once again. Hopefully, they will be destroyed. We don't have to worry about them anymore. But as it looks, evil never goes away that easily. And as we know from Lord of the Rings, that's how it will end up. So, in the next video, I will do a playthrough of the Shadow Wars. This is just me explaining the story of what's going on so far. And to explain why that happened. Why there was supposed to be an original fate, and somehow Talion changed that. Because he saw who Celebrimbor was. He saw for who he really was. Originally, Bright Lord should have conquered. But now, Bright Lord isn't the leader. Sauron, no one is the leader, in fact. Right now, it's in dismay, and that's why we have the Shadow Wars. We are still in war, but we will take care of the war once Talion finishes his mission. And that's what we will be doing in the next video. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys were able to understand this, and I hope they cleared up any plot points for you guys. Apologies if I started a bit. I can't really speak today for some reason. So yeah, I hope the story was cleared up for you in this case. So thank you guys. Like, subscribe, enjoy the good things. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great